So I didn't have time to finish the sculpture I was supposed to show you this month, so I decided to post this painting of my Baryonyx sculpture instead. I always start with a white layer. This will make the colours look brighter than if I started off with a grey clay. Once the sculpture is entirely covered, I start painting. I took inspiration from a common kingfisher, so the back will be light blue. I felt like it would be a bit boring if I left it a solid colour, so I drew some stripes loosely inspired by those of an ornate sandbelt lizard. On the tail, I thought it would be fun if I inverted the colours so that now the pattern is lighter than the base colour. Now, for the underside, I was planning on adding just a few orange accents because I thought maybe it would be too tacky to give it such a brightly coloured belly, and maybe it would make the dinosaur too visible for its own good. But I sort of lost my mind halfway through, so I just covered the entire thing with orange. I mean, these guys get away with being ridiculously flashy, so I don't see why my Baryonyx shouldn't look fabulous. And I think I like it. It makes it look like a fire-bellied toad, and that's a cool animal, so I left it this way. I wasn't really sure what to do with the face, so I just tried out different patterns and I came up with this one. The feet will be darker than the rest of the body, and I took extra care to blend the colours together. I even added some stripes on the feet to make a more cohesive look. For the claws, I started off with a very light peachy pink, and then I went over this colour with a thin layer of dark grey. So now it looks like you can see the flesh inside of the nail. And now I move on to the wash, which is a very important part. It's a darker, very diluted paint that will sit only in the crevices of the sculpture, and thus only darken these areas. It makes the details pop more because it adds some contrast. I used a dark blue for the blue parts and a brownish orange for the orange parts. This will also make the painting look less flashy. Plus it will help blend the harsh lines that I drew, and the painting will look a little bit more cohesive, and that adds to the realism of the piece. Lastly, I had to paint the river rocks it's standing on. I start with a heavy coat of light grey, and then without letting the paint dry, I add other shades of grey on top. There is a brownish one, and there a pinkish grey. It makes the colour look very uneven because in nature you'll never see two pebbles that have the same shade. For some stones I used a stroking motion to mimic the stratification, and for some others I dabbed on the colour to make a more grainy aspect. I also darken a few areas. To be honest with you, there is no method to where I add the colours. I just kind of eyeball it. I do what I think looks best. And there you are. Thank you so much for watching. Do not hesitate to subscribe, and see you next month.